Hi guys, today's topic is data transformation, and here we'll be knowing what is data transformation and where we'll be using it. And okay, let's get into the topic directly. First of all, what is data transformation? The data extracted from the source system cannot be stored directly in the data warehouse, mainly because of two reasons. Firstly, this is raw data that must be processed to be made usable in the data warehouse. The data in the operational system is not usable for making strategic decisions. Means whenever we compute means whenever we operate something on the system and when we are getting some data, the data will be in the raw format and it cannot be directly stored into the memory of the system, and it is used means memory in the sense data warehouse. It cannot be directly placed into the system data warehouse. It has to be means processed, means it has to be pre-processed so that it can be stored in the data warehouse for further usage of those data, further data, specified data. And the second is because operational data is extracted from many old legacy systems. The quality of data in those systems may not be good enough for data warehouse. Okay. Now, tasks involved in data transformation. Here we can see many types of tasks, many different tasks that are used in data transformation. First one, format revision. These revisions include changes to the data types and lengths of the individual data fields, decoding of fields. When the data comes from multiple multiple source systems, the same data items may have been described by different field values and splitting of fields. Earlier, legacy systems stored names and addresses in large text fields. Merging of information. This type of data transformation is neither the opposite of the previous task, or it means merging a number of fields to form a single field. Instead of it, it means bringing together the relevant information from different data sources. Character set confirmation. Here, in this type of data transformation, the data transformation is done to the textual data and to convert its character set to an agreed standard character set. Conversions of units. Many companies have global branches, so the sales amount may be represented in different currencies, different source systems. Date and time conversion. The date and time values are also need to be represented in a standard format. Summarization. In this type of data transformation, the data transformation is done to derive summarized or aggregated data from the most granular data. The summarized data will then be loaded in the data warehouse. Instead of loading the most granular level of data, key restructuring. While extracting the data from the data sources, you have to form the primary keys for the fact variables and the dimension tables. You cannot keep primary keys of the source data tables as the primary keys for the fact and dimension tables, because the primary keys of the source data have built-in deduplication. In many companies, the records for the same customer may be stored in many files. Generally, ETL software is of two types: that produces a code and the other that produces a parameterized runtime module. The ETL software that generates runtime module requires the legacy data to be flattened before it can be accessed. Role of data transformation process. Map the input data from the source system to the data for data warehouse repository. Clean the data, fill all the missing values by some default values, remove uh, duplicate records so that they may be stored only once in the data warehouse, to which the memory can be saved. And when we want to run a program, the program will also be executing very fast, which increases its efficiency and perform splitting and merging of fields, sort the records, denormalize the extracted data according to the dimensional model of the data warehouse, convert to appropriate data values, perform aggregations and summarizations, inspect the inspect the data types. Okay. The data for referential integrity, consolidation and reintegration of data from multiple source systems. This is the end of today's topic, but still, I will give some more clarity. Simple means, let's take some real-time examples. Like when we consider WhatsApp, means the WhatsApp will be used for means if you want to text someone, the texting means the message that we are sending to other person is also called as data. Even if we send some image or video, or even we do some, if we do some video call or anything, everything is shared in the form of data only. Now, here the data transformation that WhatsApp uses has some special. It uses means the WhatsApp company will be using very special techniques so that it can be encrypted in a complex form. Means, uh, you know, the data that we send means if we send some image to other person, the data can does not will not send the image directly to the other person. Means the image can it will be decoded in means encoded into a text format. Means no one knows what is the type of the text, and at the end means at the end or in the side of other person, again the text will be decoded into the image. Means here no hacker can be involved, even though he involves and get the text, he cannot be knowing what is the type of the text, so he cannot be. That's why it ensures the WhatsApp company ensures that every message, each and every data that it stores is completely encrypted and very safe. This is the simpler example of network transformation, and thank you. Today's session is over.